check on the community. Is there anything that you feel like you want to share with the rest of the stewards? Something like something that's going really well, or something that might not be going so well in our community, in our working group, in our personal lives or personal affairs. And I'll pass to Eduardo to get started.
Thank you, Tam. Temperature check. Quite excited for the Comunitas working group. So that's like driving my boat, if you wanna rocking my boat, as you may say in English. I don't remember the expression. Besides that, I don't know. I feel that I felt certain confusion when in the community stewards on the Telegram channel. There was these small discussions about the poly governance and the choosing the things for giving permission or not to people. So that for me was a little bit like tricky. I felt we were like caught in a loophole for some reason, and I felt that that is something that we have sort of maybe I felt underrated, and it will be nice to sort of give a little more relevance about this poly governance decision making and how it will come down the line in the near future. That's it. I will pass it on to Lily.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, actually, on that topic, I think we are reaching a really interesting level of complexity with our governance, and that was the whole SoftGov call about. That's what it was about yesterday, just trying to understand how do we take the decisions that we need to take. And I feel like it's a very mature point because we have many tools and we have many educated people in how to go about this decision. So it's been like very fruitful conversations. And yeah, this makes me excited about the future of the governance. We are setting precedent here and just the things we've been dealing it with. It's, yeah, very cool. Other than that, yeah, I just read the manifesto of Comunitas. I think it's a super cool initiative. It's awesome to see groups like self-organizing and things coming up and all of the partnerships, and it feels like things are wild and it feels really good. And I'll pass to Griff.
This is Heat Check. Yeah, I mean, I think the community is hot. So much action on the forums. People are chatting up. I don't know. I think everything seems to be flowing really well. I feel like I was a little bit MIA this week with all the common stack stuff. So, I don't know. Nothing is really catching my radar so positive or so negative, I'd say. I'll pass it to Chewy.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I feel that we're also like in familiar ground. Let's say, like we have definitely dealt with higher temperatures, and yeah, I feel that right now it's really good. It's really good ground for asking like where this is going, how are we gonna improve it based on our experience, and yeah, it makes me feel confident. And I'll pass it to Juanca.
Hello, Chuy. Hello, everyone. Well, my temperature check today has been like a very important day because like we were trying to reschedule our return to Colombia, but like it seems that we're going to travel tomorrow, and yeah, I'm happy about it. But at the same time, I was also ready to stay more days. But well, yeah, I have to be ready for everything, And on the other hand, like I am super happy about all the contributors to Gravity, and like I feel that it's really great to see the point where we are right now. And I will pass to Mount Manu.
Thanks, Juanca. Yeah, well, like I told Suga, Chuy, and Edu on the AMA, on the welcome call, I'm exploring the like a proposal or just like a system for diagramming. I kind of want to pick up where GitHub and SendHub and make it more granular. I think it's not a TC problem, but a DAO problem, and really it's the same vein of the forum post from Anne Marie saying, okay, how do we make it people on board easier? It's sort of like a plug and play framework, and yeah, I was thinking of sort of like making a version of UML. And that would be compatible with the issues and the business processes that go inside a DAO. So this is something that I talked with Chuy. I see it as something between comms and transparency, maybe related with the Comunitas working group, which is a new working group that is being assembled. So I don't know. I think there's a void, and I want to fill it. So I'm just exploring it. I'd be interested in talking with Tam or Griff later about this. But yeah, that's something that I'm exploring, and I'm very excited about. Hopefully, I can contribute with that later on. I don't want to overthink it too much. I just know there's a void. It's been stated several times explicitly by members. I've encountered it myself, and I'm just trying to find the right solution for it. Yeah, with that being said, I'll pass it to Septi.
Oh, thanks, Manu. Yeah, I think there is a lot of things going on. I feel excited. Like, it feels like it's a lot of work, but it's not, it's not that feeling when you see, oh, a lot of work to do. It's not like, oh, there's a lot of work to do, but it's exciting, like the voting thing, then the proposal for treasury management, the CoinGecko listing. It's like a lot of exciting things that I think it will help me to learn a lot. And so I'm happy. I'll pass it to Katie. And yeah, Comunitas working group. Awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, so that's on the radar. And also, I just wanted to add thanks to all of you for adding to the Stewards working group's contributor wish list. So that's pretty much complete now. So I'm excited to be able to share that. And later, I think, to talk about Comunitas a bit. Back to you, Tam. Thanks.
Oh, and I am the last one. Okay. Also, I feel like I've been a little bit not like, I'd say there's a lot of focus on Common Stack the last few days. So I feel like I've also been more focused on that, but I'm back and very focused here again now. And I would say overall, what I see is like so many things are moving forward. And I think that there's also a lot of people showing real interest in contributing and participating in our Discord, and a lot of conversation on the forum. So it feels like it just feels like we have really good momentum, and I'd like us to keep. I mean, everyone here would like us to keep it, of course. I'm really interested in chatting with Manu and hearing more about what it is that you were talking about and what void as well. So maybe we can spend some time later this week doing that. And I guess I'll say, yeah, I feel a little bit like we, and this is my own responsibility, I think, like we're still getting the critical to commons upgrade together on the Miro board. And I'd really like by, the mid to end of the sprint, we're probably in the middle of the sprint now, to actually have it in a form that is shareable with everyone, most importantly, hatchers, but ourselves as well. But my time is up. And I'll pass to Santi. Welcome, Santi.
Hello, is this temperature check? Yeah.
Yes, it sure is.
Okay. I'm really excited to see how Chui, Monmanu, Nate, and the comms group the community group are starting to launch this. I really think it's a great idea, and it's also, as you mentioned, the result of the growth that we are having. If we were not having growth, we probably would have not thought of creating a working group dealing with the community, although it's always important. So I'm really anxious to see how that evolves and to see the feedback from the new people joining the community and how we engage with them. And that's what I'm up to during this week. I don't know if anyone else is missing here. I'll pass it back to you.
Nope, that's it. Cool. So I want to share that, the last few times we've had this weekly Stewards call, we've really run out of time before we really got to talk about some group updates or even check the board. So I've been trying to figure out how we can make this, make time for all of the stewards and active community members to really get together and talk about issues that need our attention, that need discussion, that need some sort of multiple perspectives, but that we benefit from doing it in real time like this versus in the forum or Discord or Telegram, and still being able to do coordination. And I thought one thing we could do is sort of tease apart weekly coordination, which still has to happen to keep us moving forward, and having a council where we're not doing any coordination, but what we are doing is collaborating on solutions and problem solving and future planning. And so I thought every other Thursday we have a sprint retrospective, and the Thursday that we don't have a sprint retrospective, we could hold a Stewards Council. And that would be for specifically what kinds of, what's on our docket to discuss this week or this sprint, so that we can spend some time talking about it. By a show of hands, or at least a show of yays or nays. I don't know how to do this when I can't see anyone. Can people just let me know if they agree? Can you say yes or no in the Stewards channel? I really don't know how to do this when I can't see everyone. Okay, so I'm going to set it up in our calendar. I feel like that's enough. Thanks, everyone. All right, I'm gonna set that up in our calendar. I welcome suggestions. There'll be a separate agenda for the council, and I welcome anyone to go into it and add into the agenda. And also just email me or whatever, message me if you think that there's something that stewards need to discuss. It'll be 1 hour for focused discussion. So I think that'll help a lot. Cool. Spotlight for tomorrow. How are we doing? Oh, Nate is not here. So who to ask? Let's see if there's something in our spreadsheet. Tipto. Griff, you might know who that is. I have no idea. Do you want to give a maybe 2-sentence description?
He's an OG. I honestly, he was in the DAO back in the day, and is definitely a big fan of, at least my scene. But I don't actually know what DAO Square is.
I onboarded him, and I mean, he seemed very excited about the hatch. He was very involved of it. He was all the time asking questions. So I think he's very interested in the community. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. Has anyone checked their notifications recently? Anyone? Anyone go to the mentions and just see who needs their attention on something? This is just your friendly weekly reminder that GitHub notifications exist. And it's a really nice way to answer questions when people have questions specifically for you. This mentioned here is amazing. You can also see if you're participating in something, what's going on with it. But I go here first. This is my go-to space. All right, that was just a friendly reminder. Gitcoin Grants round 11. Craig cannot join us. He is officially on jury duty. but he did volunteer to do a TEC general or generic Gitcoin grant. I thought it was worth taking this moment because a lot of our stewards and active community members have other projects that they're working on. So for one point is to say, hey, if there's something that you're working on, now's a good time to put your grant together. The second thing I wanted to ask, and I think I did ask in the issue itself that's raised for this, was is there anything we need to change? Because all of our grants previously had been before the hatch, and there might be something that we'll want to change because now we've hatched, and I don't know whether it's the wording or the ask or what have you. Maybe we need to have something more specific. I'm maybe not going to use our time today to discuss that, but if you do have any opinion or thoughts about it, please do jump into this issue and share. Comunitas, new working group. Katie, would you like to take a few minutes and present it?
Cool. Thanks a lot, Tam. So yeah, as you know, I've been working a lot in orientation, and finally we've come to the moment where we think we've got a great idea for a new working group that incorporates not only orientation, but notably what we've been calling community building. So we've called it Comunitas. And Tam, I don't know if you want to, let's see, I don't know if we need to, or maybe Edu, can you share the manifesto perhaps? Or I think you've all had a chance to maybe glance at it. But in any case, we've chosen this name, Comunitas. So if you have a look at the definition, we put it up there. So Comunitas is a Latin term commonly referring either to an unstructured community in which people are equal or to the very spirit of community. Comunitas refers to an unstructured state in which all members of a community are equal, allowing them to share common experience, usually through a rite of passage. And of course, that is what we think sort of embodies the spirit of what we're doing through both helping folks enter the TEC and navigate as new contributors, new members, but also to support members already in the TEC and to just foster, nurture, build that community. So if you have a look at the working group, you'll see that we are interested in I want to look at the areas that are on our radar. So we've included the main idea is orientation and community building. So that's our focus. But because community is obviously a very amoebic, widespread, constantly evolving and developing space, we want to also have on our radar all the different projects that are going on, like TE Scouts, the TEC Lounge, all of the projects, outreach, TEC services, and this kind of thing. And so Edo has been working with me closely on this, and so has Anna Marie. We've also had support from, of course, Vi, and from Nick, and also a bit Nate was sort of jumping in previously with some orientation stuff, but I have yet to sort of sync with everybody, but we're just trying to mostly for now it's been me and Edo and Anna Marie. So would it be okay if Edo, if he had a couple things to add, he might see some holes in what I've been talking about. Thanks. Go ahead, Edo, if you want to add something.
Thank you. No, I think it pretty much covered all. Part of the interest of this is also having processes improved when talking about pathways for new people, pathways for proposals, pathways for contributors. By is also helping us building a bot that will be sort of a welcoming bot. We also are proposing the TEC Lounge to be changed, if one also agrees, to Fridays 5 p.m. The other possibility is to have it also before the community call without necessarily a time frame, just like, because the community calls are so time restrained. So we could have a hangout before. People want to join 10 minutes before a community call or not. That's also a suggestion. But basically, the Comunitas working group, it's aiming to be this space that facilitates the interactions in between the members of the TEC, and also helps kind of outreach to other communities and bring the things or the values that we want to other communities if needed. And the idea is to, as I put it, one of the failures, let's try to avoid even leaving message unanswered on Discord in the help category, like facilitate this kind of process where we are aware and we have consciousness that we have to be aware of certain parts in order for the community to be integrated. So integration for me is the end goal of this. So yeah, back to you, Tam, or anyone.
Real quick, and real quick, I don't want to leave out, we did have a sync just previously with Manu, who also stated his contribution, which I think would fit well with this group too.
Cool. It sounds great. What does it mean, commons members?
Yeah, once we launch the commons subgrade, then it becomes a commons, so we can have the integration of the commons, like everyone who participate in the commons in a way. If that makes any sense. I probably I put it in all caps. Sorry.
So you mean TEC token holders? Is that the same thing?
I mean the community that is part of the TEC as a commons.
Okay. It's not so super clear for me what is meant by that. Maybe we can make it more clear.
Sure. Thank you.
I mean, I guess the point is like anyone who reads this will be like, oh, I know what that means. But cool. Okay. Yeah, I look forward to that. Does anyone want to share thoughts about this? Now's your time. Positive, constructive. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thumbs up. Good. That works. All right, cool. Excellent. Okay. The manifesto. Okay. In this topic, this weekend there's some conversations that came up around the TEC as well. And I happened to have a chance to sort of go deep into how we're organized with Zargam, because he was around in Vienna this weekend too. And some of the thoughts, he works with MetaGov and Gitcoin and of course block science and does a lot of DAO organization and in many different groups. And I think the best news that I heard was like, everyone has the same problem, Tam. Like we're all working to do, like, it's working and it's great. And, sort of applauded the TEC for how we're operating so far, which is really awesome to hear, actually. So I'd like to share that with everyone else. And that nobody has actually figured this out. A lot of the problems that I shared, that we are like, here's some of the issues that we're having in coordination or other things, and maybe we could get some insight there because of work in other DAOs as well and sharing information with other DAOs. And one of the things that came up when I was speaking about we have a lot of initiatives that are coming up. The way even Comunitas formed was there was an orientation initiative, and there's this initiative or source credit initiative or Hatch Your Outreach initiative. There's a lot of these initiatives, but there's no place for these initiatives to really coordinate anywhere yet. And one of the ideas which might actually work nicely with Comunitas, either underneath Comunitas or parallel, is this an idea of having an incubator for working groups. So it could be an initiatives working group or an incubator, but the idea would be like the same as a startup incubator. You have a group of people who have an idea and you get together and have this the operational support to sort of see if it can launch or not. And something like if there's a group of people who have an idea that they want to look at something and investigate how something can be improved, there's there's the same sort of rhythm that we have, so there's this weekly place for them to do it and focus just on initiatives within the TEC. So it might actually also fit nicely under here already, or maybe it's something that can be launched as another working group. Or maybe it's an initiative inside Comunitas, and then see if it's actually something that we need a separate space just for incubating new working groups. All right, I also wanted to share, in case anyone doesn't know, David DYOR shared a really nice post on the forum about how he can help make our Twitter even better. And one of the things that we spoke about was, or that I shared with, I think, with Chewy and with David too, is like, be great if he meets all of the stewards. So if we could make some time for him, if everyone can like make an hour for him in the next, maybe let's say 1 to 2 weeks, just so he can really get to know us, get to know our personality, get to know our perspectives on TEC. I think it can really support him in doing the best job for the TEC with Twitter. Okay, community survey builds. Livia, you want to jump on that one?
Yeah. So we put up this cultural build survey. It's a common stack initiative, but it's been supported by Griff and I and Tim and Nate and Katie, and Kelsey also joined us recently. So we're doing a case study of the cultural build and of the TEC so far. So it would be really, really great to listen to all of the stewards. I think everyone here has really great perspectives about our culture and what works and what doesn't, and from a very individual standpoint, just wanting to hear everyone. And this will help us to move forward after the case studies to build a guide, cultural handbook that will serve as a guide for multiple DAOs in the community, sharing like our best practices for self-managed organization like we are. So please take a minute to fill it up. Thanks, Tim. Okay,
7 minutes.
6 minutes.
It's only 7
7
minutes.
minutes.
It only takes 7 minutes. So please take 7
Take 10 minutes.
Take 10, because it can really help future comments a lot. So if you have 7 minutes, please. Okay, and then there's also, I think you added this as well, Livia, Ostrom's principles. How would you like to introduce
Oh
it?
yeah, this is just the agenda of SoftGov. I just wanted to share briefly some of the things we thought about on how to move on with decisions. So there's still a lack of clarity on how far should we go with advice process? Like, when is advice process a step before another decision, or when is that enough? And I think that would be a good question to start asking ourselves whenever we receive a lot of feedback from a proposal. Like, maybe that's enough. Maybe it doesn't need to go to another round of voting in with another tool or platform. So then from the top decisions that we have to make now, the reward systems, I was wondering if this needs to be voted on. Like, I feel like the advice process has been complementing the proposal, and that there is a lot of like minds thinking about it, and I don't know if we have like anything else that we could do instead. Like, if this proposal would be voted and not approved, then what? But I didn't receive any signal in the forum so far that this is not a good direction. So I just wanted to check if someone is opposed to this proposal not being voted on, but just passing through advice process. And also an update that Christopher joined us, and he is incredibly amazing. It was so good to have this talk to him, and he mapped out the process that was laid out already, and then we changed a little bit this map together and looking into what needs to be done. And now next steps is going to be finding all of the people to work on it, and moving forward, have a little roadmap. So yeah, if anyone has a strong opinion about like, no, this should be voted on,
It's going to
please
have to be
manifest.
voted on for funding. So like, the funding request can kind of also be that vote. When you do the advice process on funding and stuff, you'll probably get feedback. So no, I don't think you need to vote twice.
Yeah, but that will be like in the future, right? Like after the Commons upgrade, and probably we'll have a lot done already. So it would be almost like a retroactive funding kind of thing.
Well, also there'll be the initial funding. There's the other proposal to do the initial buy into the bonding curve, and to fund this, I assume that you'd want to get TEC at the at the cheapest it'll ever be. So
to use this as one of the possible one of the options to buy.
Yeah, because I imagine the reward system is going to use TEC tokens, right? Not wrapped XDAI.
Oh, but they are two different things. One is like bringing tokens to this DAO, and one is like the process as a whole. Like not like bringing funds into the reward systems DAO is as if we had approved everything that we're doing and moving forward with it, and then asking for funds to be distributed. But then the other thing is this even the right direction? Like, is this proposal even, yeah.
Yeah, and I agree completely about like separating the concerns. Like, is this the right proposal? Do I have quorum? Like, hey guys, hi, hello. Is this a good way to go? Does anyone see any problems? Give us feedback, right? Totally. But then also for you, doing the initial buy into the bonding curve will also be like more of a formal ratification of the DAO saying this is also a good idea. I mean, I understand you want some feedback now because you're going in a direction and going to actually do work, right? So.
Yeah, oh, okay, like a ratification. I see. I thought you were asking for saying funds for building this process, but I understand now. Cool.
And I'd also say Nuggin is excited about it, so he can be a
yeah, I
developer.
talked to him. Thanks for all the connections.
Okay. Are you seeking feedback today in this right now?
Well, I think this is important for all of us, and I see that like not everybody was in SoftGov yesterday, so I just wanted to give a quick update on all of them. Like Eduardo was saying, like, oh, but it feels like we're not bringing this forth with the importance that it has. Just wanted to that everybody knows that we're working on this and some of the progress that we have made. And then, can you go back quickly there, Tim? Okay, so the governance give back, Juanca gave a good idea that the yes or no vote will already have the solution embedded in it. So it's like yes for this solution or no for this solution. And that is the only solution that is presented because it was given through advice process by the Commons Forum team. And then that's how we could move forward with it. Because a problem that if we don't present a solution and just make a yes or no, people could vote yes for a certain decision or no for another decision. So the yes or no wouldn't be super representative if we don't have how it's going to be implemented, presented with it.
So the challenge, can I just say one thing? The challenge that's been raised with that process of moving forward is that, as far as I know, there's no final solution that's been agreed upon from a technical standpoint. Has that changed?
In the Monday Commons Forum call, there was like a solution that was proposed and was more or less like well seen by the Commons Forum, and I think that eases and clears up the discussion around the technical solution, so that way that the vote like only refers to the 75% governance giveback.
I just want to say something that what in this in the okay embedding the solution in the vote. Here are some possible risks. If there is a solution and then the community approves the vote, yes, but also we sort of like hard code a solution in. Should there then be any problems with the solution while we technically build it, then we don't have an option to still honor what we've agreed is necessary. So I do agree with the voices that have offered separating the question of whether or not we restore the governance with allowing the technical team to find the best technical solution in their time to do it. Because otherwise we may face problems in the future if the technical solution turns out that while it seemed like a good idea now, when they do the technical specifications, they run into problems and it can't be implemented.
Well, I was also thinking that that this debate around the technical solution, yeah, it's more of a debate that should be held in the Commons Forum and not like in the bigger community, because like it's a very niche type of knowledge, and I really think that here we should like try to hear and give agency to yeah, to the people who knows and who like actually does this. And also the other thing to like take into account in this vote is that there needs to be time to build and to implement the solution. So like what I am proposing is that in the vote we respect the technical solution that the Commons Forum chooses, and yeah, we respect the Commons Forum solution, and yeah, we only refer to it as for yes or no, so that we can give time for the implementation. Yes.
Yeah, so I think we're agreeing. So we don't say the solution, we say this is just a yes or no vote, and we acknowledge that Commons Forum will then determine the best way to implement it. Yes, I couldn't agree more, because we don't know what challenges they're going to face when they try to build it, and they might need to abandon one method and try another one. So the community should probably not vote on the solution, but just the spirit of whether or not to restrict. Okay, cool. Yay, when are we doing that vote then?
I was proposing to do it in the weekend of the 17th to the 20th of September. That would be next week, but I don't know if maybe that's too much in a rush. I think it would be good because we shouldn't make like the vote to be a bottleneck of some of the projects of the working groups.
Okay. I just wonder, I mean, if that's the timing, okay. I think it could even be earlier. I don't know that, but I guess what are you hoping to, what are you hoping for in the next, it's less than 10 days. Like in the next 9 days, it's just to set up the vote and then let people know that they should be voting in it. Okay.
Yeah, and also to like polish the question and to have advice process on the voting mechanism.
Anything else, Livia?
So the one-time change of TC addresses seems to be in a good place, should be submitted to the Hatch DAO. We just need to think about the promotion to do around that. and how that's happening with you guys that are like in the forefront of it, that are going to talk to the people with the addresses and stuff like that. So I think it's more a matter of coordination, and I don't think it needs to go to snapshot. I mean, this was just a test vote. You could go straight to the DAO because it passed advice process already. And then the other one, that is the complicated one, the buying into the bonding curve, because it has too many options. So one of the solutions we thought is to use ranked choice voting with a negative option in. So not voting yes or no to should we buy into the bonding curve or not, but have ranked choice with all of the options that we have, and then have a negative option in, and it's a net. And then we need to think of the parameters of it, of like how much of the percentage of a negative option would be enough to block the proposal, or how many options are we choosing in the end? Are we going to with 2 solutions or with just 1 solution? So we would have to think about that.
Yeah, it's a good point. I've been trying to use the word call for ideation over advice process for something like this. There was no proposal in here. There's nothing to be voted on. It was more like, hey, here's something that's possible. Community brainstorm on some ideas that we can then implement. And to be honest, we can't even rank vote right now because there's technical feasibility discussions that need to happen for some of them. There's interest to gauge for others of them. So I wonder, it's like putting the cart before the horse. Like, we can rank vote on these, but then the rank vote might be for naught because we might have technical infeasibility or no interest. So it's sort of, I was thinking more.
We don't have technical, we can do this technically. But sorry, go ahead, you're thinking.
Yeah. Well, things like some of the possible options have to have some feasibility studies or some feasibility study to look at. The agave one, the secondary markets, like how and when can we do it? Not within our DAO ourselves, but like if we're connecting with another partner. So some of the ideas were like, it was really just like, hey, here are some ideas. Can someone who wants to champion them flesh them out a little bit, and then bring back more comprehensive proposal that then can be voted on? But in the form it is now, it's too immature to vote on it because it could just be nothing. But yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. Like this, I've been trying to separate calling this a proposal because technically it's not. It's just like brainstorm request or soliciting different ideas from our community. But then
Go ahead.
And then I think once we have some real proposals, like the rewards DAO system, maybe some early interest from impact investors, maybe something like that. Once we have some like more solid proposals, then the rank voting could be really interesting too.
Yeah, and maybe there should be a deadline for starting it, because I think all that really we need to do is say, like, if there's open questions, say these are the people who will steward these funds and direct them there. And if they decide that it's not, feasible, then they withdraw their proposal, or if it goes through, if it gets closer to the dates and they still don't know if it's feasible, then they buy the TEC tokens and the leftovers go to XYZ. They're burned and given back to the conviction voting pool.
Yeah, we definitely need to look more into each one of the possibilities and have them like very understood by everyone, and then make the proposal there. Sorry, Tim, I didn't understand that the feasibility you were talking about, like the feasibility of the agave proposal at all.
Yeah, and there was a discussion on it. Zepti, Chewy, Mitch, myself, Griff, spoke with them, and they, as they were hashing out feasibility, they were sort of starting to zero in on what was feasible and what wasn't. So I think it's going to end up being a valid proposal, but there's a lot of it might have turned out that conversation didn't lead anywhere. But I think it will. Okay. Anything else, Livia?
No, and then just that the covenant, I know it doesn't need to be proposed to the hatched out, but since we put it under that the only way to change the covenant is through the DAO voting after, I think it makes sense to submit to the hatched DAO just to set precedent of submitting it to a DAO voting for anything to change.
Could it not be Snapshot that we use to sort of set the token weighted, token holder votes? I mean, I think the important thing is that people who have tokens voted for it. Does it have to be the hatched out, or could it be Snapshot?
Yeah, I think it could be Snapshot. I was just thinking if that would sound hypocrite somehow, that then to change anything you need to submit to the DAO voting, but might be fine because we don't have the what we have is not exactly the DAO voting. No.
That's true. Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to move on to coordination unless there's anything else. I feel like that was also the updates from SoftGov. Was that also the
Yeah,
updates?
you just keep me. Thanks.
Maybe something to clarify on the agave thing. There was a lot of discussion about we're discovering if it's technically feasible about turning the common pool funds into a agave or whatever, but that doesn't necessarily relate to the should we buy into the bonding curve, initialize the bonding curve. So there were kind of two conversations going on there, and actually buying into the bonding curve, I don't know. It was really, that ended up just being like, hey, do you want to be our partner? Should we do a token exchange? Maybe, maybe not. And I don't know that, there is should it be is it technically feasible? We don't know. But what would be the dynamics? But I don't know if it really gets in the way.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also sort of well, what does it actually mean if we're holding their governance tokens and they're holding our governance tokens? So it ended up being, really more than just technical feasibility, but is this actually something we would want to pursue? So I would say there's a little more thought that needs to sort of go in it before the community could vote on it. Because right now there's not actually enough information to vote on, if that makes sense. And once there's more information, then everyone can make an informed vote.
Yeah, next week after SoftGov, I think we're going to do a debate. And yeah, I think we could prepare some questions and then maybe do a round. And actually the money that's in the common pool, it's from every one of us, right? And the idea would be everyone says, oh, if that money was yours, what would you do? And then gather the whole collective, what everyone maybe someone is oh, I'm very conservative, I don't want to do anything, and I just want to get my DAI and fund the TC and get the value from creating projects. And maybe someone is oh, but maybe let's put some money here, let's and yeah, gather the information what every single person would do. And yeah, I think then we could have a good collective decision.
Is that on the calendar already? Thanks.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, it is. It's next week after SoftCov. And I'm going to announce it also on the community call.
Oh, cool. Okay. Cool. And it's a debate on that particular proposal? I mean, that particular call for ideation?
It's for the 3 proposals that Mitch posted on the forum.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay,
yeah,
great.
the idea is to make some questions and then it would be easy. I put it 1 hour in the calendar, but actually it depends on the quorum. Might be longer, might be shorter. Like the idea is like also like I don't know. We're talking. We're enjoying our time. Like let's not close. Oh, it's time. Let's leave. Right. Let's. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we will see.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd definitely like to be there and hear that. All right, we have 9 minutes left. I'm gonna start doing a round of updates and ask Griff if he can go first with params and common swarm.
Sorry, my computer was going really slow. Params, yeah, we're just pushing, same old, same old. We're mostly through conviction voting. There were some technical challenges. What do you know? It's complicated. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good for October 1st as actually being able to start voting on it. The main modules should be done on the 15th is the target date that we're looking, and then we'll just have we'll have to still add the issue thing, the GitHub issue thing. I saw some conversations in the Stewards chat, and I didn't want to bring it because it fell out of context, but it's worth saying the reason that we're using a bot to make issues for GitHub is that it's like with the bot, we can make the issue and then edit the issue and make it really long. But before the way we were doing it for the hatch, we couldn't make a long issue. So we needed more characters for this one. So that was the technical solution and why Vitor's bot's going to propose every single one. Anyway, and then Common Swarm.
Does that just to jump in? Does that mean that the proposals will be anonymous or anonymized?
The people will put in their name if they want into the dashboard. So there'll be I think we're going to add that in. I don't think it's in the designs yet, which is an oversight because I think it's just an oversight because Vitor knows that we have to do that.
I mean, well, I was just going to say it's kind of interesting if the authors' names aren't in the proposal, but whatever.
For the runoffs, they won't be, for sure. Yeah, we had a discussion around that, and we settled on adding the names. I can't remember the details, honestly. And then Common Swarm, we had an amazing session with Brett. He took it upon himself to review the hatch as well, which is really, really nice, at least for future commons. And he found a couple bugs in the hatch. Nothing major, but like, he really is the best person in the world to review this. He just knows all the random things that happened or were found in all the previous Aragon DAO audits and deployments and little things like, oh, there was an escape hatch that if someone would have called it, and like that should have been turned off, and there weren't any issues that really could have happened in the hatch, but very, very likely that without that review, future groups that were trying to deploy the hatch could have been vulnerable to issues. So it's really amazing to have his support on looking over the hatch. And with the bonding curve, he didn't quite finish reviewing the math of the bonding curve, so I still don't have the answer on negative virtual supply, but hopefully in the next couple of days we'll have that answer. As far as and he found all sorts of nice improvements to make the code clearer and prevent misconfigurations, really, like of deployments, and make it a lot safer. But honestly, there were not very many issues found. So, and that report, we'll probably publish it as a report if Brett allows us to. But the stuff is on our GitHub. Other than that, yeah, Sem and the guys are just working on the EVM CRISPR, and Sem is really hot to trot to try to make conviction voting work with 2 tokens, which would be super cool, and that would allow us to avoid allow us to mint a non-transferable token as the governance token, which would be really, really cool. And he's trying to make that happen with this week and next, but at the same time, it's going to delay our ability to deliver because it's a nice chunk of work. But his focus and drive is there, so that's really nice. And yeah, and we're way ahead of params with Common Swarm, so the extra time isn't so much of an issue.
Cool. I think the results of that review just highlight the excellent job that Sem and the rest of the Common Swarm team has done. Yeah, it's like huge kudos to have him review it, him in particular review it, and find just minor things. So
yeah,
we should all
absolutely.
And the rest of the comments. Cool. Chewy, how do you feel about giving an update from the comms working group? We have 3 minutes.
Sorry, can I interrupt real quick? I don't know if I something,
ahead.
but blog on the agenda.
Oh, the blog is not on the agenda. And it is for, sorry about that, Katie. And it is for this week, right?
Yeah, normally, yeah.
I think I have my dates wrong. All right, well, shall we talk about that then? Topics for the blog? Anyone want to throw ideas out?
Mitch forum post for the
Uh,
ATC collaboration. Oh, sorry, Chico, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Gitcoin Grant, round 11.
I mean, I assume all the voting stuff. I mean, the forum is just chock full of gold right now. So first successful snapshot vote.
One small quote about the Graviton training too.
Yeah, I think actually Craig wrote it in the Gitcoin Grant. There's Graviton training, there's TE Academy and labs, lots of education opportunities. And then we're going to have collaborative economics on top of it, which really is another, educational opportunity. We're practically, yeah, lots of stuff to learn here.
Okay. Thanks for throwing that in, Katie, and I apologize it fell off our agenda this week. That's our last minute. If anything else comes to mind that you want to share in the blog, please feel free to jump into this doc and throw it in before I guess Katie starts working on it close to the weekend. Thanks for your hour, everybody.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tam.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tom.
Bye.